Avery.com, Avary, for the most up-to-date news and information on Team Avery.
Avery, 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 Avery,
This is The Gala Show. I'm your reporter on the beat, Gala Avery. On this episode, you may recognize my guest's last name as he's the son of one of the most prolific filmmakers in Hollywood. He's worked alongside his father as a producer and actor and doing marketing, but now he's forging his own path and he's just finished directing his debut feature film. I'm excited to talk about it. Today on the mic, I have Zalman Band.
Hello.
Hey, Zalman. So before we bring up the topic for today, I have a question for you. This is one of my favorite questions to ask people.
Alrighty.
You and I both grew up as children of fathers in the entertainment business industry. And I've talked to other kids like James Paxton about how this has affected us. And I've also talked to parents about how they want to guide their children into the creative fields. So I wanted to ask you, what is one important lesson that your father has imparted on you?
Whoa, good question.
Because your dad knows so much.
The dude knows a lot. I think a thing that he has said since I was a kid and still says pretty much every time we talk on the phone is, or when he's here, I'm leaving or whatever, he says everything in moderation, including moderation.
God, my dad says that to me too.
Always.
Maybe your dad taught my dad that.
It's honestly, that's like been his motto. And it's, you know, whether it's martini or watching too many movies, it's always everything in moderation, including moderation. And that's just, it's a good lesson.
I agree. Also, like, what kind of movies did your dad show you growing up? Like, did you grow up, like, watching, like, the full moon features? Or,
yeah. Well, I grew up on those sets, and then we'd watch them, and I'd watch them. But mostly, like, we'd watch everything. Like, he showed, like, the original King Kong, we watched a lot. James Bond's every Sunday.
Yeah.
Because I was with him on Sundays, you know, and so we'd watch a James Bond, a Connery James Bond specifically. And, but everything. I mean, I saw everything too young. Like The Shining, I saw when I was like 6.
Was there anything your dad held back though?
0.
Because my dad, weirdly enough, like people are shocked when I tell them like I didn't see Pulp Fiction until I was 18.
I mean, that kind of makes sense.
Yeah,
because that's, you know.
See, you're not shocked by that statement because
but
like
I think my older siblings are a lot older than me, so I was just kind of like the only little kid running around. So it's like, all right, sit down, little fucker. Like you're gonna watch, you know, whatever, The Omen, and so yeah,
it's amazing.
Yeah. So, but growing up that way is you growing up on the sets, you see the fake blood and the monsters.
You know it's not
and it's
real.
a guy in a suit or a girl in a suit. And so you're like, okay, that's not scary anymore because they're smoking a cigarette and eating a donut.
God, I literally remember when Silent Hill was being filmed. My dad and I, we went up to the set of Silent Hill, and I was maybe, when was that? Like, I think that movie came out like 2006 or 2007.
Yeah, something like that.
So I was in like 5th or 6th grade when it was being filmed.
Right.
And I literally remember my dad took me to set and they let me run around like the Silent Hill set.
Oh, that's so cool.
And Pyramid Head was there.
Yeah.
And I was like afraid at first. And they're like, oh no, he's a ballerina.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, I'm not afraid anymore. And then I got to watch Pyramid Head like do his work.
It's so much better.
I know. It's like when you know it's make believe, and then you can have fun and learn how to suspend your disbelief.
Right. That movie did scare the shit out of me though, because I wasn't on that set for some reason. That for all the horror movies, Silent Hill I watched I think at Comic-Con. Like when it came out with my brother, and I was like, this is terrifying.
You know, there are about 20 pages that have been just chopped off from the beginning of the script.
Really?
When they were filming, it's the entire introduction to how they get to Silent Hill.
Whoa.
When they were filming, they ran out of money, and Christoph Gans was like, what am I going to do? We haven't filmed the beginning, let's just not do the first 20 pages.
That's crazy.
And so that's how they kept like the 2 techno cranes and all that stuff, because like the ending to Christoph was the most important, and to my dad always the beginning was really important.
Interesting.
Because it's like how she goes to Silent Hill, and it's like this woman's story of all this stuff. So it's funny because when people are like, oh, sometimes it doesn't make sense, I'm like, well, because 20 pages are missing.
I never knew that.
But you understand how it is on set and when you're making a movie.
Especially full moon.
Full moon.
We had to cut some stuff.
Yeah, so you know. Yeah. So now, as always, my guest gets to bring their topic to the mic. So Zalman, why don't you tell us what your topic is and why you decided to choose it?
Well, I think it has to be the movie I just shot, which is Subscriber.
Yeah,
okay. In a non-narcissistic way, but I got to talk about it because there's a lot to talk about.
But before we get into the topic, it's time for a commercial break. popular demand, the Video Archives merch store is up and running. Get your favorite t-shirts, hats, notebooks, stickers, and more at videoarchivesmerch.com. You know me. I write all my notes in the Notes on Cinema notebook, the Gall edition, of course. Check out videoarchivesmerch.com to get yours today. Hey, thanks so much for being a loyal listener. If you want to keep up with me off mic, make sure to follow me on Instagram at Gala Avery. And we're back. You heard it here. We are going to be talking about Zalman's debut feature.
Yes.
Subscriber. I have 30 minutes on the clock and our time starts now.
Sweet.
You know, I'm really excited to talk about it because I think it's one thing to grow up on a set and then
Yeah.
it's another thing to be the director of the set.
Right.
And I kind of experienced this when I did Lucky Day with my dad because I grew up on sets like Rules of Attraction, Silent Hill, etc.
Right.
And then when I was producing, it's like it's a whole different ballgame.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, well, but I still, I don't know. I still feel, I started, like my first job, I lied and got a PA job. And my dad lied for me and I was like 16. They're like, has he PA'd before? He's like, yeah, he's 20. He's PA'd a million times. I didn't know what
That's so
like,
your dad.
So, oh, for sure. You always got to finagle everything. But so I just grew up on the set. I mean, sorry, I grew up working as a PA. And then I get to my set and I'm like, you know, coiling cables and going to walkies. And I was like, oh shit, I'm directing this. I was like, I forgot that I'm not bringing people water.
But don't you think also though that like a director has to kind of do it all? At least I feel like a director and a producer kind of like when something needs to get done.
Yeah.
It's the captain of the ship that needs to do it.
For sure. And I you know, I learned a lot from watching him because he's such a, I mean, he's larger than life, but he's also very calm and collected, and he's not, you know, a tyrant, which is a PA on so many things. You pay attention. So many people are such assholes, especially like the little guy or girl on set.
Yeah.
So watching him, it's like everything's cool, you know, it's all chill. You know, even if if the set burns down, okay, we'll figure it out, you know. So that was important.
Yeah, a director's a problem solver.
Yeah, has to be.
So how did Subscriber come about?
So actually, I don't know.
Did you write it also?
I did write it, yeah. I wrote this version like, I don't know, 2.5 years ago, and I had like a piece together like 20 grand. We were gonna shoot it with like me, I was gonna be in it, and my buddy, and like that was it. And then it didn't happen, and I wrote another draft, and then I wrote a million drafts, and it turned into something. And one thing led to another, and people got hold of it, and then it snowballed into like this crazy thing where originally it was going to be me and my friend in a camera at some abandoned house we were going to find in Ohio. And then it turned into having Barbara Crampton and Bill Moseley and Delaney Rowe and all these people. I was just like, holy shit, how the fuck did this happen?
What's also great though is like some of these people that you've mentioned, especially Barbara, like
Yeah.
it's people that you kind of grew up with.
Totally.
Like, they're like your champions. And
Totally.
like I've had these same people in the industry that are like they know me as I've grown and they've been my champions.
Definitely. And Barbara for sure. I mean, she was like, she read this, you know, I think I emailed her and I was like, hey, if you wouldn't mind checking out the script. And she probably, you know, was like, she's the nicest person, but she was like, okay, let's read this thing. And, you know, I'm not like full of myself at all. I don't know if people are going to like it or not. She called me like immediately after she read it. She's like, I love this. Like, I'm in. And then I think it was Barbara. It was like, have you talked to Bill? Because he'd be great for Jim, the role of Jim. And I was like,
Barbara's such a great, like,
she's
put her together. She's like,
I'll tear up
amazing.
if I talk about Barbara.
Yeah.
She's the best.
We love you, Barbara.
And then I like I got Bill's email, and she's like, if he likes it, he might do it, but you never know. It's a shot in the dark. And I was like, well, I got to try because I love Bill Moseley. And I sent it to him, and then he loved it. And I was just like, God, what the fuck is happening? I don't know. I was like,
it was just kind of coming together perfectly.
yeah. And then like, you know, UTA, I have some friends and I sent it to them, and then they got me Zach Zucker, who's the lead, who does this one-man show, solo. He's amazing.
Is it a comedian or like?
He's a comedian. He does this insane fringe show, and then he has a variety show, and he's like a classically trained clown. His show is fucking crazy. If anyone is listening,
He went to clown school.
he went to like the French.
Oh my God, I know
famous
someone
one.
who went to that French clown school.
He's nuts.
That's
But he's
crazy.
like, you know, him and I met, and And I got Delaney Rowe, who's amazing as well, and Biniam Bizune, who's an amazing comedian. I just got this crazy cast, and then it turned into this thing where it's getting like into crunch time. I mean, I didn't sleep for like 2 months trying to get this thing together.
So how long was the shoot again?
8 days.
God, for people that are listening that like have not made a movie, and you've heard me say this before for like really tiny schedules, like, oh my God, that is so hard. I feel like that's insane almost.
It was insane. Yeah. It was definitely, but luckily, like I was, preconditioned working on these full moon movies, which even though this isn't technically a full moon movie, I obviously stole some work ethic of like keeping it moving, but also trying to, the stuff we got was so good because they're so good, all the actors were just so fucking good.
So what's the movie about?
So it's about, I mean, I'll give you the little elevator pitch.
Give me my elevator pitch.
I've always had this, I wouldn't say hatred, but dislike for the, like the Logan Pauls and the hyper masculine, like Andrew Tate.
You told me about this. Yeah.
So like it's, that culture of like these dudes who are like NFTs and like Lamborghinis.
Crypto bros.
Yeah. And like fuck bitches.
It's like all the guys I'm dating in LA.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like everybody I see in the city. So it's a kind of like a wannabe YouTuber like that who buys and flips houses and sells crypto and teaches his army of winners, quote unquote, how to like be whatever awesome.
How to be awesome sauce.
Yeah, and he buys a historic farmhouse outside of Cleveland, Ohio, to tear it down because he's an asshole, and to subdivide it and build multi units. And he takes his camera crew with him, his cameraman and his girlfriend, and shows up there with plans to tear it down, and something doesn't let them leave. And that's kind of, and I filmed it first person, so it's found footage.
Oh, it's like a found footage film.
Yeah.
It's so funny. I've been talking to so many people recently about found footage. Like I feel like it's re-entering the zeitgeist.
I love found footage. When it's done right, it's awesome.
What's your like favorite found footage film?
It's got to be Blair Witch.
Yeah.
I just like, that was the movie growing up. That was also one that scared the shit out of me.
Were you one of the people that like when they saw it they didn't know that it was like a movie?
Yeah, because I was like 6.
Yeah, because you're like and you didn't see that too early. You probably didn't see that too early.
But I thought it was real. And also, like, I don't know. I just think it's great. And, I wanted to see it done in like with using these YouTubers. Because, everyone has their phones. But the last people were like having these cameras coming around following them everywhere, these YouTubers.
Yeah.
And, I got to make fun of the people, these bros that I see all the time, whatever. I mean, I don't want to sound too much of an asshole, but
no, it's okay because honestly, I mean, a horror movie needs its villain or foil.
Yeah.
And I feel like for a successful horror movie to work, you kind of all need to want the person to get either the scare or the kill,
And like his girlfriend comes with him, and then later he has this interior designer influencer who's played by Delaney Rowe. She comes in from New York. So they all meet up at this house, and then, later on we meet Bill and Barbara, and there's all sorts of.
That's the thing, though. It's like, because if you like the person too much, the character's too likable, you're going to want them to survive.
For sure.
So you need to have someone that like is off-putting enough that they want them to find their demise, but also that is likable enough that you want to keep watching the movie. It's a very fine line with a character.
It is. I hope I did it right.
I mean, we'll see.
We'll see.
So where did you shoot it?
Ohio. Cleveland. Yeah. Which is honestly, everyone talks shit about Ohio. For some reason, it's become the butt of all jokes.
It's become like the butt.
I love Ohio. I love Cleveland. The people are the nicest. Maybe not in the winter because it's really cold. And
we're from LA.
I'm an LA guy. But in the summer, it's gorgeous. Like everyone who's that, my girlfriend at first was like, you're shooting at Cleveland, and then people were like, ha ha ha. And then she got out there. I mean, not to throw her under the bus for the record. Everybody was saying this.
No, I feel like online especially, it's like, oh, you're from Ohio. Ohio doesn't exist.
It's some new joke.
It's a weird joke. Yeah. And it's like, they've kind of made it like that everyone that's from Ohio is going to get made fun of.
Don't get it.
Yeah, so, I don't either because apparently Ohio is wonderful.
Ohio, I love you. But, we had a great time and we shot it out there. And I was so under the gun, and the schedule was just so tight. It was insane.
So you were the writer, director, producer?
Producer, yeah.
Did you have another producer with you?
I did, Riley Taquino, who's amazing.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and then, we just kind of did it. Like
you just did it?
We just, I mean, obviously we had a ton of help.
Yeah.
thank God, and the crew is unbelievable, and you know, those hours are
I always wonder, like,
insane.
when you're shooting found footage, how much of it is like your actors actually shooting it?
We kind of switched. I got really lucky with my DP, Lydia Nikonova, who's my Russian comrade in arms, who is amazing. We'd alternate whatever felt right for the scene, and she had a dupe set of pants and shoes that the cameraman would have. So sometimes she'd film, sometimes Biniam, who played the cameraman, would film. It was just kind of a mix up, you know. Certain scenes she would film, and
Are
vice
you
versa.
using like a lot of practical for it, or are you gonna do like,
It was
is it
all
CGI?
all
or-
practical.
All
There's-
practical.
I might need to. I mean, obviously, I need to paint some stuff out, which I'm doing right now. There might be like one light in the sky, but for the most part, I'm a
That's amazing that
diehard.
you're doing. Yeah, because
I love practical effects so
I feel
much.
like practical effects are actually the scarier effects
I
because
agree.
your eyes know the difference. Like when it's
100%.
painted, and also like not to slag on CGI because I do think there's a lot like Starship Troopers. I think their
Yeah.
use of CGI in that is really good. But like on the like Unreal Engine or whatever it's called, or like
Right.
those big stages where it's like I don't know if everyone else can tell, but like I can tell.
Oh, for sure.
Like the
Even
stage
with
work.
gun shots
Oh,
and
yeah,
stuff,
like
which I understand
muzzle
because of
flashes,
safety.
yeah.
You know, I'm not going to bring that up, but I get it.
Yeah.
But also, I'm a realist, and I love seeing
Squibs.
Squibs. That's
Squibs
my
are
favorite.
amazing.
Like, you know, that's why David Greathouse, who did the FX on my movie, I told him, I was like, I want that 70s blood. I want
you were-
mist. I want, you know.
When you were a kid, did your dad ever squib you up?
I know, but I don't know. I got put in. So I love how you said I was an actor because I'm like.
I know, I know.
He would just be like, I throw the kid in for a sec. My whole family over the years.
That's what I mean. Is though it's like when you're doing. I was in
Yeah.
Lucky Day. I'm one of the police officers, like in the background, because
Yeah.
Dad's like, "Oh, we have a costume, so
Let's
it's
do
my
it."
it's my quote acting credit.
Yeah,
I'm
I
an
know.
actress."
And there was like one where he wanted me to like have lines, and it was like on like Evil Bong 888.
I know it was that Evil Bong 888 one.
And I was like, and I like did it, and I heard him like behind the camera, be like, all right, and then it was just cut because it was terrible. I can't act for shit. I get really nervous. Like
I don't know. You might be an
bad.
actor. You might be an actor.
I'm good in the moment talking to people, but you put any camera on me and I tense up
It's funny. You're more comfortable behind the camera.
a million
I
times.
feel like
over.
I am
Yeah.
too, and it's funny because like my other hobby is like I love doing film photography.
Yeah.
And then it's like when the camera gets put on me, I'm a little like awkward.
Can't do it.
And for my season 1 promo, I was like, Dad, take a picture. And he took a picture.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, I'm using it.
Yeah.
And then for my season 2 promo, I made my mom take my pictures.
Right.
And she would stand in my place, and then I would like go with my Polaroid and like, okay, now stand right where I am, Mom, and then I'll go there. And then she would have to like crack jokes to like loosen
I'm
me
the
up.
same way. I mean, my girlfriend Becky is a photographer, and sometimes she'll take photos, and she's like, "Can you relax your fucking shoulders?" And I'm like, "What do you mean?" She's like, "Look," and I'm like, "I obviously can't see, but I'm like all hunched up." I'm like, "Jesus Christ, I need to relax." But
I know. Sometimes I'll make my dad now when he takes photos of me. I'm like, okay, take a photo. Okay, now let me look at it.
Yeah.
Because I can't like visualize what I look like on the
I'm
camera.
it's a nightmare for me, honestly. Like I'm super self-conscious about that stuff. I'm weird about it.
Do you think it'll ever like get better?
We'll see.
I
Maybe if
mean-
I like have a cocktail before and I can loosen up and not be so in my own head. But
Yeah, I
for
don't
now,
know.
I'm very happy and fortunate that I can be behind a camera.
Yeah, that we were behind.
Because
the camera.
that whole project, I was just like, you know, afterwards, I was just like, thank every guardian angel and like what an
that
opportunity
you did not
to
have to,
have.
but also that you did not have to step in because
Oh, for sure.
I
That would
know
have been a fucking
on
disaster.
on Suitable Flesh.
Yeah.
Joe Lynch had to step in. I guess
Did
he
he?
actually wasn't supposed to be in the movie because he's like in kind of all of his
Yeah.
movies, but I guess he wasn't supposed to be in the movie, and he is like one of the like mental asylum guards,
Oh.
and I guess the guy like showed up and like couldn't, I don't know, like the height was incorrect or something,
so he did
or
it?
he didn't show up, I don't know, so he did it.
Right.
And so it's so funny, and Joe Lynch has like this mustache.
That's
on.
so. I mean, if it would have got the movie made and there was, I would have done it.
Yeah, of course.
You know,
You
'cause
have to do
there's-
anything to get
there
your
are
movie
so
made.
many things like every movie that go wrong. You know, there's so many little like mini nightmares that
Yeah,
happen.
everything that does go wrong will go wrong.
For
That's the
sure.
thing.
But also there were many, and for the most part, like we just had it was such a good atmosphere. I didn't want it to end. You know,
It's like a family when
there was
you're
a
on
point
set.
where we shot the scene in this barn, and it was like, you know, all the actors, and I'm looking and I see Barbara and I see Bill Moseley and Barbara Crampton. I see the other 3 actors and this whole crew of 4 actors and the whole crew, and I was like, holy shit, they're all here because of something
Wow, that
for
must have been
me.
an amazing feeling.
Yeah, I mean, granted, they're getting paid, but
No, but
they're
no,
not.
but
It's not because
okay,
they like
but
me.
the thing about like a movie is like, yeah, everyone's getting paid, but especially on a movie like this where you have 8 days to do it, everyone is there because they want to be there.
Right, and that
Everyone
was
is
really
there,
special.
yeah,
I
because
was
they
like,
like they feel it and they all
for
want to
sure.
do it. And that's also one thing I love about being on set or like being on a good set with a good director specifically is that when the crew wants to be there, they will work harder.
100%.
And like when they are happy and when they see that the director has a vision, they will
Yeah.
do anything.
And that's what they did. And I don't mean I didn't mean that about getting paid because everyone was working for SAG scale, which is insane.
That's
you know,
like-
to have especially two heavy hitters like Bill and Barbara and
Because
and
they're doing
the
because they
whole
want to be
cast
there. Yeah.
could have done something else, but instead they liked the script and you know, believed in me. So
God,
that's what I was saying.
it's
Like,
an
I was just like,
amazing-
fuck, this is insane.
It's an amazing
How lucky
feeling.
am I? My God.
No, and also like we get to live our dream.
Yeah, it's crazy.
That's the thing. It's like you're there and you are living the dream.
Right.
Because I also tell people like a movie is like this is what my dad always says.
Yeah.
Maybe your dad also says
It's
it.
possible.
A movie's like a car with wobbly wheels, and
Yeah.
like even like when you get to the finish line, you still have like a mile to go
Oh,
because you
yeah.
have to do all the editing and then you have
Yeah,
to get it
that's what I'm in
distributed.
now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're editing. Are you editing it yourself?
No, I'm editing it with Alex Nicolau, who's an amazing editor, and I love him very much because he's saving me right now.
Yeah.
But, yeah. So it's just like such an amazing experience, and then I guess one of the things that I was lucky enough to do is enjoy a little bit in the moment. Mm-hmm. Like, obviously, I was just run ragged,
Yeah.
and everybody was. But then there were times where I'd get home and I'd be like, "Fuck, what an awesome! Like,
I know.
this is awesome.
I know, and
Can't
then you
believe
like,
this.
and then you get like hungry for your next one.
Oh yeah, well there was a weird come down after where I got
Oh,
home.
it's a depression almost.
And I was like, fuck, because it's like before leading up to the shoot for months, it's like 20 calls and then agents and managers
and
and
you're
this
prepping.
and yes
You're
and
in
that.
hard prep.
And then like, you know, and then it was just like radio silence, and I was like, fuck, I gotta like, you know, get a hobby for a little. Or
You know,
something.
honestly, you do kind of fall into a depression after any
Definitely.
kind of thing. Even like doing like Video Archives podcasts, it's like we record in bulk,
Right.
and then there's like a come down,
Yeah, for sure.
and you have to come down. And people that aren't in the industry or maybe aren't creative in a certain way
Right.
might not understand like the post creativity depression.
It's weird. I didn't
It's-
know. I didn't really get it, you know. And then I was like, "Fuck, why do I feel this way?" And then somebody
you
I
just
know
made
was
this
like, "Dude, you
amazing
just
thing."
had like a whole adventure, and now it's like, you know, gone quiet for now." So now, you know, the second I got home, I already started my next script.
That's amazing. That's exactly what you need to do.
Yeah, of course. And like obviously, I work for full moon, so there's always something to do.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was just a trip to like go from being like everyone's asking you a million questions, and then
It's kind of isolating
Yeah.
in a weird way, but also
it was cool.
it'll come back because
Oh,
as
for
soon as
sure.
you're done with, but also as soon as you're done with editing and the post, and
Yeah.
then you get it distributed, that's when you get to have the parties,
Yeah.
and that's when you get to like go out and people actually see your movie,
Right.
And
That's
people
what I'm
comment
excited for,
on
is
it.
people
Yeah,
to see it for sure. And I just want to keep working. Like
that's It's like once
even
you
if
get
it's
a taste
writing
of
Hallmark cards, like I just love it. Like I don't know. So many. It's such a crazy gamble to like this business.
Oh yeah,
Especially like, you know, growing up in the B and movie world,
Mm-hmm.
you see all the trials and tribulations from so many people, and but it's like I would never want anything else for myself.
I think I'm exactly the same way, and I think it's like when you're a kid and you've grown up in this industry, and like it's weird because I started thinking like, could I do anything else with my life?
Yeah.
Like when I watch, I always quote like Rollerball because like Jonathan, like he just wants to play the game.
Right.
And I relate so much to Jonathan. Like I look nothing like him. I'm not playing sports,
Right.
but I relate so much to that because all I have
Yeah.
is my creativity. Like all I have is my passion.
For sure.
And I think about it, like, could I do anything else? Like, could I go work a 9 to 5? Like, no.
Yeah.
I don't know.
at
I
this
might
point,
wither
I don't-
away
I
and
don't know.
die.
And like how, yeah, it's like if I'm lucky enough to do this for the rest of my life, then I will, you know, whatever. I will do whatever I
You'll
can.
coil the cables.
I always
you'll-
try, yeah. I'm like, I always think like when I was a PA,
Mm-hmm.
you know, like if I'm ever at the point where I have a big, massive crew and a gajillion dollars to shoot a movie, I'm gonna see a PA and be like, "You want to go to lunch, kid? Like,
Yeah.
pass it down." Because I've had so many people help me. You
That's
know,
the thing
so
also.
many people.
It's like small acts of kindness in this industry go so far.
For sure.
And are so inspiring. And
Yeah.
like, I remember my very first thing I ever worked on, I worked as a writer. I was 15 and I was a junior writer in a writer's room.
Yeah.
And they threw me an episode. And
That's so cool.
Bruce McDonald directed it.
Wow.
And yeah. And it was just like really cool. And I wasn't able to be on set like when he did it,
Right.
but he wrote me a letter on a napkin.
No way.
And I still have my letter. And he was like, Gala, I
cool.
did it. I made it. And we got rid of a day of shooting, but we got a helicopter.
Did you frame it? That's
I
so
have it
special.
in like
You
my
gotta
special
frame it.
box. I have
That's
like,
so-
and I pull it out every now and then and I read it. And I think like,
Yeah.
this small note I carry with me over 10 years later.
Right.
And I always remember we gave up a day of shooting, but we got the helicopter.
That's so
Like,
cool.
and
Yeah,
it's
it's
just so
little
nice.
things like that. Like, dude, I don't know. I've had so many people give me advice and help me, and then you remember them forever. You also remember the ones who didn't help you.
Yeah, that's the thing though. It's like when the going get tough, the tough get going. And you
Yeah.
remember the people that help you and stand by you like when things are tough. And
Yeah.
you do remember the people that are just there when you're successful.
For sure. I mean, I'll always try to be like exactly how people were to me and helpful. Like that's kind of what it is. Is like you pass it down, and like I'll always try to do that as much as possible because sometimes I feel like I'm the luckiest son of a bitch in the entire world.
Well, also, I think that people need to remember that there is enough goodness in this world that everyone can succeed. It's
For
not
sure.
really a finite thing. And that might sound weird because, like, yeah, in this industry, there is only so much money
Right.
that can go to projects.
Yeah.
But the truth is, like, you can make a project for $20,000,
Yeah.
like with your friends in a house, or
Yeah,
you can
especially
make
now.
especially now, and like everyone has a camera in their
Yeah.
pocket, and like Sean Baker proved that
Oh,
with like
God,
all of
Anora's
his
so
movies.
good. He's
I haven't
amazing.
seen Anora
his
yet.
dialogue is like it blows my mind.
But I
So-
also I
such a
feel
fan.
like he's really been working up to Anora because
Oh,
like
yeah,
with,
well,
like Tangerine, and
yeah.
Tangerine was just like Craigslist casting
Yeah.
and like on an iPhone, and it was, I don't want to say a stunt because I don't believe that that's how Sean would see it,
Right.
but it proved to everyone like you can do it like
Yeah,
this.
yeah, he's a genius. He's like unbelievable. I just saw Nora 2 days ago. It's just
Did you go to the Vista to see it, or
no, I saw it at the AMC in Burbank.
That's even better.
Yeah,
Like let's
which
okay.
the gold member line now it's a bunch of bullshit. It's longer than the regular line.
Okay, so here's my thing. So I
It's a
went to
scam.
go. I always tell people like, I went. Yeah, they should also take all the gold members first or whatever. I don't know,
Ridiculous.
but I went.
I'm kidding. But yeah.
I'm not. I went to go see Poor Things like last Christmas Eve or
Mm-hmm.
something weird like that. Like someone I knew was like, let's go out and see a movie, and I
Yeah.
wanted to go see that rom-com that like Sydney Sweeney was in or whatever.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
with Glenn Powell.
With Glenn Powell, because they were showing like the unrated version. I was like, let's go see this. It's like
Sure.
a first date. Like it's kind of fun.
Yeah,
and he's
yeah.
like, no, I want to go see Poor Things.
Oh,
and I was like,
Jesus, yeah.
okay, like why not? And so we went to go see Poor Things, and I did not like that movie at all. I have no problem saying that.
Yeah,
It's like
yeah.
one of the worst movies I've seen in my entire life. I don't care if people love it. But that was the wildest viewing experience I saw at the Burbank AMC, and people were passing snacks down the aisle. And
That's
I don't mean
fun.
like down the aisle. I mean like
Just like sharing.
no, vertically.
Oh.
Like from rows above
pass it back?
all the way down.
Cool.
And
I
was like,
love that.
And I was like, what the heck? But it was every film Twitter bro in America
Oh, I'm sure.
was there.
I kind of love those experiences. Like the best movie going experience I think I've ever had in my life was seeing Once Upon a Time in Hollywood opening night at the Dome.
Oh my God,
Which
the
is
Dome.
I
Oh,
don't want to
miss the
talk about it because
Dome.
I'll cry, but that
Yeah.
I drive past the ArcLight Hollywood all the time, and I'm just like, man, this was like my church.
That was the thing. I remember I went to go see the premiere of Spring Breakers.
Yeah,
Because I know like the Hanleys.
I was there too.
Were you there?
Yeah, I was there.
Oh, that's so
and
funny.
Harmony came out and did a Q&A.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Were you? Did you go to the party afterwards?
There's no way I was
Oh,
invited.
okay. Well, I somehow got in.
Cool.
But
I love
it was funny. My dad and we brought Marilyn Manson
Cool.
and Gucci Mane, and I swapped seats with Gucci Mane so he could sit
love
next to
Gucci Mane.
Marilyn,
Yeah.
sit next to Brian.
That's hilarious.
And that's how they made their song together. My dad recorded it on his iPhone for them.
fuck outta here.
Yeah, isn't that so funny?
That was when Gucci was like fat Gucci Mane.
Yeah,
and
he
then
was-
and then he like lost a bunch of
And got all
weight. He
fit.
fell asleep. I remember Harmony Korine talked about how he fell asleep when there's the scene where the two strippers are like giving him a lap dance, and he was
Yeah.
like I guess he like took a bunch of lean or Xanax and fell
Just
asleep,
fell asleep.
while they're giving him a lap dance. That's awesome.
No, it was a crazy experience though. I remember because it's like I swapped seats. I was like, oh, do you want to sit next
So
to
cool.
Brian?
That's
It
amazing.
was awesome.
That's the thing. ArcLight, I like saw every important movie. I was just like it was. I don't know, like seeing that was the right before COVID. That was the last movie I saw at the ArcLight, opening at the Dome, and everyone was like dressed up. I felt like I was like, this is how it should be. And then now I drive past and
And
it's like an empty.
It's like a ghost town. And you know what? It's so sad because my dad used to take me to the Dome.
Yeah.
And then we'd go to Toy afterwards.
Oh, yeah.
And Toy used to be open until 4 a.m.
Yeah.
And now it closes at midnight. And so their
I didn't
kitchen
know
is like
this.
11:15.
Oh, that sucks.
I know. And like I was eating there like, okay, our kitchen closes in 15 minutes. I'm like,
Yeah.
it's like 10:30.
Yeah.
Like,
I remember, and it was just something about it. And they were like, the tickets were like $3 more expensive than like going to like Universal. So it kind of like, I don't know. It's just like everyone like respected it. I mean, there'd obviously be schmucks texting during the movie,
but like the thing also though is like I always like to say I kind of like imperfect viewing experiences though, because like you tend to remember them
for sure. Yeah, I remember like my mom used to take me to a lot of movies, and there's a it wasn't an AMC, but it was on Van Nuys and Ventura. Van Nuys and Moore Park, like right next to the In-N-Out.
Yeah,
it's still there. I just can't remember the name. But we would always go to like late night showings when I was a kid. And we'd like go see like Mamma Mia, and she'd bring like a blanket and like snacks.
Yeah.
She like, we'd bring in a bunch of snacks. She makes better popcorn than the movie theaters. But that's just like, I don't know. I guess that's all tying back to like what this is like everything to me.
That's the thing. It's like when you grow up,
awesome.
When you grow up and you're sitting there and you're watching that flickering screen and you capture magic and you're in that room with everyone. I've watched plenty of movies on my laptop by myself in my house. I watch them on my laptop in my car. Like, why not? I have a few minutes to wait and I have to watch a movie. I'll watch it there.
Yeah.
But nothing compares to the viewing experience in the theater.
No.
Nothing.
And it never will. It never will. And like I just saw the Apple just today discontinued the what the hell are they called?
The
big
VR
goggles
headsets or whatever.
Yeah, Vision Pro.
Apple
or whatever.
View.
And they're like, you have a movie theater in your house. I was like, no, because it's not the same. You don't smell the popcorn. You're not. I don't know.
You're not like upset because that kid next to you.
Yeah.
God, I went to go see. It was some. I can't remember. It doesn't matter. Book of Clarence. I went to go see Book of Clarence at the AMC near my house, and it was like a 10:30 p.m. showing, and it's like a raunchy stoner comedy about like the other disciple of Jesus.
Right.
And someone brought their like 4-year-old kid to it.
Yeah.
And he started like going back and forth in the seat, so I just started doing it with him during the crucifixion.
Yeah.
I don't
were you
care.
kicking him?
No, I was like going back, and he started throwing candy at me. I was like,
You started throwing. Oh, that's right.
But then my friend was so mad, and after the movie, he was like crap talking the kid, and the kid just turned around and smiled, like he knew.
What a little shit. That scares me. When kids like aren't intimidated by an adult, something's wrong.
Something's
A
wrong.
little omen or
Something's
something.
wrong.
That's crazy.
You're in editing now.
Yes.
How much longer do you think you have until you're done? Are you going to ever be done? That's the thing.
Oh,
also.
for sure.
A painter. You must remove the paintbrushes.
Oh, we will be done, and as soon as I can. Getting a couple extra little shots here and there. And, but yes, we will be done. I'm hoping to have it in the next 3 weeks at least.
So by the end of 2024.
100%. Or I'm gonna have to sell a kidney or something in Mexico. Yes, it will be done.
You could sell it here in LA.
Yeah,
you don't have to go to Mexico for that.
Put on OfferUp, which I just listed things. What a weird place that is.
God, I wanted that toucan or whatever, that parrot thing.
Oh, the parrot lamp?
Did it get sold?
It's sold, but I could sell it to you instead.
No. Sell it to them.
Liam will be fine.
No. Sell it to them.
Yeah, I listed all the shit, and the people were like, "This is the weirdest array of stuff," and I was like, "Yeah."
Well, it's funny because I was thinking this kind of looks like all the stuff I have in my house.
Yeah, I was like, I
when you were listing posters and stuff, I was like, oh, like I would like this would fit in my home perfectly.
Yeah, you should take the Czech Republic mummy poster that I have.
I do not want your Czech Republic mummy.
I love the mummy. Do you love the mummy?
I do love the mummy. Yeah,
that's like one of my favorite.
So is that one of your favorite, or is that your favorite?
It's not my favorite.
What's your favorite?
Fuck.
What's your favorite right now, besides the mummy?
Right now,
like if you just
there's a movie called
movie,
His Kind of Woman, which is Robert Mitchum, and it's RKO. And I talked to Larry Karaszewski about this because I was like, if there's one, nobody else. I mean, I'm not saying nobody if you're listening, but
like
everybody I was talking to,
probably knows about
he'll know
it
for sure. But I was like, fuck, all my friends,
everyone our age.
Yeah, just like, I don't know. And I had to go, Larry, have you ever seen His Kind of Woman? And he's like, yeah, it's fucking awesome. It is awesome. It's incredible, and the story's incredible, and everyone should watch it because it's fucking cool.
Are all your friends like movie people also?
No, not really. A lot. Well, I guess like most of my good friends are, but like, I have my best friend is a Marine. Like that's the eclectic group of friends.
No, I agree because I have it too. It's like I have my eclectic group. Like I have my friends that like are in the industry.
Yeah, for sure.
But they're mostly older people. Like
Right.
I'm on Joe Dante's email list,
I
and
love
I
Joe
love that, and I
Yeah.
won't ever like get off of that. But then I have like my friends at rowing who like don't
Right.
watch movies.
Yeah, I have like a mixture, and I think that's what keeps me sane. Because like I'm not like I mean, I guess I am a Hollywood guy because I was born in Hollywood, but I'm not like one of
Are
those.
you actually born like in Hollywood?
I was born in Cedars-Sinai.
Okay,
but,
of
you
course,
know,
yeah.
but my dad, you know, I lived right up the hills here, and then Park La Brea for a time. I've been
Yeah.
all over the place.
Yeah.
But I'm not like one of those schmoozers who's like has like every membership to all the social clubs in LA. Like I
Yeah.
could give a shit about that. I'd rather, you know, be watching the Dodgers at a sports bar in Lincoln Heights than
Yeah, or
doing
going to the
that.
Burbank games.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah, like I'm not gonna just go to a club. That's not my thing.
Yeah.
Do I sometimes? Yes.
Yeah.
Do I get dragged there? Yes.
I go
Do
willingly.
enjoy
I
it?
go willingly.
Sometimes. Yes.
So there's some screening rooms at
depends.
those clubs, which are nice.
That's true.
I like-
Wait, what?
at
Wait, sorry, I
the-
just said that's. Is there?
Yeah, at Soho House, West Hollywood, they have a
Oh.
screening room there.
Yeah, I
think
went there a
downtown they
couple
might
times,
also-
and it took 30 minutes to get a drink, and I was like, I
No,
just
the
want-
the
I
service
just
at the
want
Soho
drink.
houses are absolutely terrible.
I just like it's so it's so like she. I'm like
Yeah.
I just want to
Go to the sports bar and
martini
watch.
or something.
Yeah,
Give me
just-
something.
Give me
Give me like a beer while I wait for the.
They do screenings though sometimes there, and they are pretty.
That's
fun.
cool. I would
Yeah.
do that. Yeah,
pretty
sorry, I
fun.
had to go on a rampage about
No.
waiting for a drink. I hate that.
No, I do too.
Sorry.
But believe me, I'm
That's
a
my topic. Oh, there it goes. What a
No,
way
but
to
I'll
leave.
just tell you. By the way, I'm a Soho House All member.
Oh, shit.
It's also the bane of my existence.
Oh no, I'm gonna get reprimanded
By who?
by Soho House. I'm not even a member.
Oh my
But-
gosh, that's funny though.
Yeah, it's a great way to leave off. Jesus.
Well, that's all the time that we have for today. But Zalman, is there any final thought that you'd like to share with the audience?
Go see His Kind of Woman, which is great.
Is it on VHS or
It's
like...
on. I think it's on Criterion, maybe.
Okay, well, then
you
more
rent it.
people should
Or
have
go
seen
see
it.
my movie when it
Yeah,
comes
well-
out. Sorry. Oops. Yeah, it's called Subscriber, and I've, everyone in it did such a good job, and I'm the luckiest man in the world, and hopefully you like it. That's my last message.
I can't wait to see it,
Yes.
honestly. So as soon as it's out, I'm going.
Oh, you're coming to the screening for
yes,
sure.
yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
I cannot wait.
Yeah.
Thank you to my guest, Zalman Band, for coming on to the show. If you'd like to keep up with Zalman, you can do so on his Instagram at Zalman Band. And also, of course, when Subscriber comes out, go and see it. I cannot wait
Yeah,
to see
it's
it.
gonna be,
So.
it's gonna be fun.
It's going to be a whole lot of
It'll
fun.
be fun.
I'm Gala Avery, and this has been The Gala Show. The Gala Show is brought to you by Avery.com. This episode was executive produced by Roger Avery and produced by Gala Avery. Music composed by Andy Milburn. As always, I'm your host, Gala Avery. Copyright 2024, all rights reserved. Despite me sharing the same last name with this charity, I don't have any affiliation with it, besides the fact that the issue is very near and dear to my heart. Did you know that in the United States, 2.7 million children currently have a parent in prison, and it's estimated that 10 million children have experienced parental incarceration at some point in their lives? I was one of these kids, and as an adult, I am really grateful to be able to give back to Project Avery. Their mission is to build leadership from within by supporting community through programs such as mentoring and outdoor education, and also to remove the stigma surrounding having a parent that's incarcerated. You don't have to feel alone. If you know a kid who could use these resources or would like to donate money or time to the charity, please go to Project Avery, that's AVARY.org, to check out what this amazing charity is all about. Again, that's projectavery.org. Thank you guys from the bottom of my heart.